Move over keto, there's a new diet in town, carnivore. For the uninformed, the latest dietary trend to be making waves is the controversial carnivore diet, which, as its name suggests, is a 100% animal-based diet with 0% plant-based foods. While some followers may cheat with various seasonings like herbs, spices, salt, and citrus to add a bit of flavor, the diet is entirely made up of animal foods. This include all types of seafood, poultry, beef, goat, lamb, pork, eggs, organ meats, or glands, and the dairy. If you're curious as to whether or not you should commit to carnivore, as well as my thoughts on it, then read on. This is going to be another two-part series, since there's a lot to cover. For today's post, I'll be going over the pros and gray areas of the diet, with the next one focusing on the cons and my final thoughts. How did we get here? It's a bit tricky to be able to explain how or even when the carnivore trend started. Today, more and more people are coming out of the woodworks claiming that they've been eating it for years. Some also claim to have done it as a variation of the Atkins diet. While we may never get the timeline right, we do know that carnivore became popular largely thanks to social media and people like Dr. Shawn Baker and Michaela Peterson. Both had made a splash on the popular Joe Rogan Experience podcast. 1. As a result, numerous carnivore dieters have turned into ambassadors for the diet, promoting it on social media. These include medical professionals, athletes, and everyday people looking to improve their health. Here's what can be said as far as the history of the carnivore diet. A small number of populations have eaten it, which includes certain tribes from Africa, Maasai, Samburu, Rendille, Brazilian Gauchos, Canadian Inuit, South Dakotan Sioux, Russian Arctic Chukotka, and the nomads of Mongolia. 2. However, it should be pointed out that despite these groups all living off of mostly animal foods, ranging from cooked and raw meat to blood and whale blubber, they still included varying amounts of plant-based foods into their diets. For instance, the Inuit would collect wild berries when in season, and ferment other plants in order to preserve them for times of famine. 3. In spite of a very bloody and meat-centric diet, the Samburu ate a small number of roots, tubers, and vegetables. 4. Whether or not we were meant to eat only animals is up for debate. Just as vegan cultures are few and far in between, some of which were shown to be vegetarians, with their diets including small bits of dairy, fish, and eggs, the same can be said about the carnivore diet.